So we all remember the memes from the NBA bubble surrounding Paul George. People either called him Pandemic P or Playoff P. Now while those names may have been well deserved because of his poor performance, it's important to know he did have shoulder surgery before joining the Clippers. And in a recent episode of How Hungry Are You by Serge Ibaka, Paul George explained that he had zero sleep in the bubble and that affected his performance. I know people are quick to consider these as excuses, but if you pause for a minute, Paul George is a father of two and he can't even see them. That would affect anyone's mental, knowing you won't be there to raise your own kids. Anyways, sports fans after hearing all of this still put hate on Paul George. But George doesn't crumble under pressure like others. Instead, he excels. The first round against the Mavs was when his play started to decline. When a star that normally averages 25 and 4 on 43% shooting averages 18, 6 and 4 on 35% shooting, it seems there's a slight decline, or as they may call it, a slump. But this wasn't when the memes formed. He had a solid game against the Mavs in Game 5, scoring 35 points, effectively stealing the win for the Clippers. Then the next game, Game 6, he went back into a shooting slump, shooting only 31% and scoring 15 points. But the Clippers still persevered. According to Basketball Reference, for the entire series against the Denver Nuggets, he averaged 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. While these numbers seem average, it's definitely not superstar level. Where the name Pandemic P really took form was the absolute collapse of the Clippers in Game 7. The two star players of the Clippers franchise combined for only 24 points on under 30% shooting. This game was absolutely heartbreaking for the Clippers, but in a way, it was a blessing. Without this occurrence, George wouldn't have the motivation to prove his haters wrong. Because as fans remember, George started his career in Indiana and then joined Russ in Oklahoma. Both those teams were located in small markets, and there wasn't too much pressure. He could just play as himself. As he transitioned to Los Angeles, so did all the eyeballs of the Los Angeles fans. Immediately, every game he performs poorly, people take note in big markets like that. Then came his 2020-21 season revenge tour. This time around, George averaged 23 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists on tremendously better 46% shooting on the field. He didn't have a game where he exploded 30 plus points, but the consistency was already there.
Paul George, kick out pass, Pat Beverly after Luka closed. George in. Clippers on.
Kind of slip a little bit. So, these are opportunities for the Clippers to get going.
And he's got championship experience in college, won 2 titles at Villanova.
Up a wide open three off a made layup, and that's what just happened there.
Opportunity 3-on-2 for the Clippers. George, great pass to Leonard.
For this Clippers team to get back in this series.
Clippers trying to avoid an 0-3. 1-point lead for the Clippers. More in the series. Game 4 is Sunday. Game 5, if there is, was the 33rd overall pick. Third of round 2. Doncic, the third pick.
This series was when George really proved himself worthy. With Kawhi out with the season-ending injury, George knew he had to be the main scorer and leader. Even though the Clippers lost this series, it showed PG was back. George averaged 28, 10, and 5 the whole series while shooting 42% from the field. A slight increase in points and rebounds, but the game when Paul George went off this series was Game 5 when he exploded for 41 points in 41 minutes of play, while shooting 75% from the field. That was an exceptional performance. Needless to say, the Clippers are definitely happy to see that George is capable of leading a team like this. Once Kawhi gets healthy, the Clippers will have all the star power they need to go deep into the playoffs.